Amazing X-Men number 3 dropped, with the future X-Men moving into Philadelphia and getting closer to their target, Revelation. We find out his plan and a little more. Come on, guys, let's go.
I get on these beats and I provide my city dope, yeah. I get on these beats and I revive my brother's hope, yeah. I get on these beats and I flow like a ghost.
Darkchild teleports the future X-Men further into the Revelation territories of Philadelphia. Glob Herman says, "Can you fucking believe it, Cyclops? We got out of Providence, Limbo territory, Darkchild territory." Cyclops says, "Believe it, Glob. Now, Psylocke, talk, please." Psylocke turns to Cyclops and begins to tell him, "I was given a mission to hunt a traitor. A traitor I had been led to believe leaked information leading to the murder of a chorister in my protection, Topaz, at the hands of the X-Men." Glob Herman says, "Sorry, not sorry. Yuck, yuck, yuck." Animalia tells her, "We're in the business of killing Revelation. His choristers are legitimate targets. Topaz was a righteous kill." Psylocke says, "You murdered her. She was in my care, and you murdered her while she was helping repair a village." Swordschild cuts Psylocke off, saying, "And how many people did Revelation babble with the power she provided for him?" He's got you there, Psylocke. Yeah, I gotta say, right now, future X-Men up 1, Psylocke still at 0. Cyclops intervenes, saying, "Everyone enough. I appreciate that you were on different sides until very recently, but I was led to believe that we've got something a little more important to deal with than the blood on our respective hands." Psylocke says, "The traitor I've been sent to kill was Revelation's wife, Bay, the Blood Moon." And upon that reveal, Cyclops puts his hands on his head, and you could see the X-Men are all wondering, like, what the hell? Why were you sent to kill her? We are taken back to when Psylocke hunted down Bay, the Blood Moon. She tracked her, she fought her, and she struck her down as we watched the knife go through Bay's stomach. But it was my life that was ended by the words from her lips, not the blade in her hands. Because Revelation wanted Bay dead for the secret that she knew. And in telling me, she murdered me. As we see, Psylocke hears what Bay the Blood Moon told her, and her eyes are wide open now. After all the time that has passed, Psylocke says Revelation intends to remake the world in his image, literally. We finally get to hear his big plan as she says the X-Virus is a virulent, mutative agent. It has changed the land as well as the people upon it, but it also has linked them. Revelation intends to convert the entire biomass of the territories, land, animals, people, into himself. Animalia asks, "But why?" Psylocke answers her, "Because with that balance upset, he will convert the rest of the planet. All that exists will be Revelation." So that's it? That's the big bad's plan? Really? This is it? Okay, if you say so. B says, "Fascinating. Ego, the living planet, all over again." If you guys didn't know, Ego is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yes, he is a huge planet that has sentience. He's kind of like Mogul from the DC Universe, except he has eyes and a mouth showing from his planet. Cyclops adds, he needs to be stopped. And then B says, well, of course. Glob Herman says, "Oh shit, great. Like things couldn't get any fucking worse. What now?" Cyclops stands tall, saying, "This doesn't change anything. It just makes things simpler. Neutralizing Revelation isn't just what's right, it's saving the world." As my guy sits over here oral farming yet again, a bright light shines on the future X-Men as someone says, "Who's down there? On the ground now, for inspection." Cyclops says, "What?" Psylocke tells him Seraphim Patrol. Should have expected it. We're practically inside the Philadelphia city limits. Let me handle this. "I'm a Seraphim captain, you little punks. Get that light off me before I put it out." Psylocke being Psylocke. A Seraphim patrol party appears before the X-Men. One of them floats down with light coming from his hand. He says, "Captain Psylocke, please forgive the disrespect. I had no idea it was you. I had heard you'd been killed." Psylocke tells him boomers only. "I'm on my way back in from the outer territories to report directly to Revelation. I suggest you get back on patrol and don't delay me." Revelation soldiers say, "Affirmative, Captain. Do you require an escort back to Philadelphia or..." And then he notices it. He notices the X on Psylocke's scarf. Yes, guys, the X that Revelation made Psylocke put on when her chorister got killed in the Age of Revelation Overture issue. Revelation soldier says, "Wait," as he sees the X on her scarf. "Why are you wearing an X-Men badge? Who are these others with you?" And when you turn the page, you find my man Glob Herman puts a bullet in that soldier's dome and says, "What? He made you?" Cyclops and the other X-Men begin moving as Cyclops says, "X-Men, let's go." And Glob, "You have to stop killing people." Glob holds his gun saying, "Make me, Slim." Psylocke jumps over the claws of one of the mutants, saying, please, we can end this without more blood spilled. One of the Seraphim soldiers says back to her, Red Garden's not even cold, and you're saying that? You'll be babbled for this. The mutant tank for Revelation comes tearing through trees, Beast and Animalia saying, gonna crush you, until something lifts him off the ground. Schwarzschild says, I've lowered the gravitic force on you to that of the moon's surface. Cyclops? Cyclops tells him, thank you, Schwarzschild, and prepares to fire off an optic blast. Slim optic blasts the tank through the air as Glob Herman hustles to dodge incoming blasts, asking for a little help. Revelation soldier says, Mad Dog Glob Herman, you've murdered what, 18 Seraphim and a chorister? I bring you in, and I'm a captain. Until that mutant gets hit in the back of the head by a piece of a tree from Beast, who says, aw, such ambition. Or is it hubris? Psylocke stabs her side knife through the back of the clawed mutant's head, saying, don't kill them. I'll wipe our presence from their minds. There'll be no danger to us. Cyclops tells her, good thinking. Are you injured, Psylocke? To her saying, only spiritually. I trained some of those Seraphim. I have to ensure that betrayal was worth it, as she wipes her blade off. Beast says, Quana, Psylocke, the future is worth any betrayal. And make no mistake, we fight for nothing less than the future. Psylocke pulls her scarf up to put her mask on her face. I suppose you are correct, Beast, but I didn't expect to hear such utilitarianism coming from you. The future X-Men begin moving out as Beast says we are all discovering surprising things about ourselves, it seems. The X-Men hustle, running towards Philadelphia, leaving one of the Seraphim patrollers dead and the rest on the ground behind them. Sad when you gotta see mutant on mutant killing. Should never happen. They make it to the X-Mansion, deep below Philadelphia, where WizKid hums a tune. As the X-Men file in, he says, well, this wasn't to plan. Animalia lets him know plans change, WizKid, to which he replies, mine don't, because they're perfect, because I'm a genius. Where are the rest? Animalia tells him, dead. The angel of death ambushed us. We've had to fight our way back here through Providence because the teleporter you built with Forger and Hank glitched. WizKid tells her if it glitched, it wasn't because of me. What did you do to it? To which Cyclops chimes in, God, all you future X-Men do is fight with each other. No wonder you haven't taken down Revelation yet. Then we get WizKid coming out the side of his neck to say, oh great, it speaks. You spent, what, a week in the Age of Revelation? The adults are talking, baby Summers. Really? Really, WizKid? That's what you're gonna say to one of the greatest leaders of the X-Men, the person that y'all brought back from time? Because you know you need to kind of fix it, even though this is his fault for letting Doug join the team and become Revelation. Really, you're saying that to one of the best, and I can promise you, you're not one of those. Cyclops subtly claps back by saying, you're right, I am from the past. You know, back when the X-Men actually won their fights. Glob comes in laughing, saying, got you there, Talk. You're a genius, and you talking about you're such a genius, and that if something goes wrong, it's not your fault, but y'all still ain't got a W yet.
B says, tell me, how did you affect time travel? WizKid says simple, temporal lensing, thanks to Schwarzschild and Zorn, opening a data channel to the past with a black hole in order to send information, such as digitized consciousness. Beast places his hand over his mouth to ponder, saying, of course. The process sidesteps a lot of the problems you'd have sending a physical object back. Brilliant. WizKid says, figures that you like it, you came up with it. What exactly did you want to do with the two cavemen, Jen? Animalia says, we're going to send them back. WizKid tells her, the hell we are. We put everything into this mission. We're pulling the ripcord now. You're right there, Cyclops says. We have to take down Revelation first. After that's done, it'll be up to all of you future X-Men to rebuild this world, including my and Hank's future selves. So, Sitrep Takeshi. WizKid crosses his arms like the child he is and begins by saying, in my very educated opinion, he's vulnerable. Bay, the Blood Moon is dead, we killed Topaz, and now I hear that Fabian Cortez is dead. Revelation's got 3 choristers left, and one of them is a little kid. On top of that, you somehow managed to flip a Seraph captain? Of course, there's still plenty of Seraphim out there, and the matter of Choir and his Omega kids. Psylocke says, leave Quentin to me. Cyclops comes through with that leader talk saying we're wildly outnumbered, so we have to do this quietly. Psylocke, you're XO again. And Glob Herman doesn't like that, so he says, hey, no fair, to have Cyclops say back to him, shut up, Glob. Quiet is her speciality, and she's familiar with Revelation security protocols. Beast tells Scott to slow down. We need to rest. We've been on the run for days now. Cyclops tells him, Hank, we don't have the time. To which Beast interjects saying, Scott, your body is 10 years older than you're used to, and you're treating it like a rental car. You are not going to die, Scott Summers, not while I have anything to say about it. That I promise you. so go to bed. And while the others sleep, Beast is up sitting at a desk on a computer doing what? Doing work. Animalia comes over to him and says, there, that's the Beast I remember. Beast asks her to tell me about this version of himself, the one of my future and your present, the one you love. Animalia lowers her head before she says he hated the plan, even though he came up with it. Him and Scott. He thought it was horribly cruel, an obscenity to steal the life of an X-Men in the past, which is why he insisted that he had to be the other one to go. As Animalia turns away from Beast, he tells her, he left you. Animalia replies, he said if he had to destroy a life, it could only be his own. His conscience wouldn't allow for nothing less. She turns to Beast, revealing, I hated him for it, and I loved him for it. Beast notices the weight on Animalia's shoulders and places his hands on it, saying, do you know, I don't think I really understood how extraordinary you are until this very moment. Animalia turns to him with half a smile, telling him, try to remember that when you go back. If you go back. Beast tells her, I will never forget it. You will get him back, Miss Starkey. I promise you that as well. Animalia replies, it's Jen. Good night, Hank. Get some sleep, and don't make promises you can't keep. As Hank returns to his work, he says, I never do. Good night, Jen. The next day, we see the X-Men are all awake as they're grabbing coffee and breakfast. Cyclops asks WizKid, there's something I've been meaning to ask. When and how did you cure Magneto's RLDS? WizKid says, RLDS? What? So Cyclops gives him the word instead of the abbreviation, saying Resurrection-Linked Degeneration Syndrome. WizKid looks at him and says, what are you talking about? If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we are speaking about the disease that Magneto has from being resurrected. He learned that he had this disease back in issue number 7 of Adjectiveless X-Men, and that the disease is messing with his powers, and also the reason why he can't walk and he's stuck in a wheelchair. WizKid interrupts, saying that never happened. You sound like a crazy person right now. Sure, Max used to have a throne he'd fly around on, but it was an affectation, a bit of steez. You know how he was, making entrances. Cyclops says, but that doesn't make any sense to WizKid, saying, yeah, well, what? Massive dimensional flux from the surface. Oh no, bad news about the plan, Cyclops. And on the next page, my man says, look like quiet just went out the window. Apocalypse is here. As we see Apocalypse come through a Krakoan gate and is now on the planet Earth. Y'all know what he's here for. He wants Revelation. Apparently, we're going to have to wait, though, and see what's going on in X-Men Book of Revelation number 3. And then after that, we get to witness the final showdown in X-Men Age of Revelation finale. On the X-Men Age of Revelation finale, we get my man saying, next up, I have plotted the way forward for this species, for this world, for all of us. I do not do this out of anger, but love. I do not do this for love of power, but hatred of it. I was charged with ensuring the survival of the fittest. I am ensuring the survival of everyone. Words from Revelation. Let us know what you guys think of this video. Please like, share, and follow for more. We will be back next month for X-Men Age of Revelation finale. Please stay tuned. I am Jordan Blaine of New Comga, and Amazing X-Men number 3 is verified.